I want to talk to you here about something that Billy Graham told me about 5 years before he died. We became friends at the end of his life, and I so admired him. And at one point, I said, Billy, where are the people that are going to step up? Where's the next George Washington, Abraham Lincoln? Where's the next Billy Graham? And he smiled and he said, God is tired of people like me getting credit for his work. He said, it's not going to work this way this time. He said, this time, people who are just regular people are going to do something that they may think is small and insignificant. And they may not even understand it, but they feel compelled that they're supposed to do this one thing, and they'll argue in their own head, say, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? That's not going to change anything. And he said, and if everybody who hears what they're supposed to do and does just that, nothing more, nothing less, just that, and remains faithful, he said, the lights will come on and you'll see a mosaic that God is working, and everyone on earth will know only the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob could have done it. That's what he told me. It has lasted with me, and I'm seeing that come to fruition right now. Oliver Anthony was a guy who was at the end just a few weeks ago. He was at the end, sitting in his truck, weeping, completely broken. Now he's on Joe Rogan. He was on Joe Rogan, and he's talking to Joe about the scriptures. And Joe is listening. And so are millions of Americans. I think what Oliver Anthony just did is what our preachers are failing to do. Our preachers, it's all gobbledygook. It doesn't feel real to so many Americans. But listen to this. Oliver Anthony on Joe Rogan.
I kind of had this breakdown moment and decided that I was going to let whatever ego I had go. And just at this point, it's like I knew I didn't have much left in for me anyway. And I wanted to serve whatever purpose it was that I was here to serve. It's like you get this just overwhelming feeling in you. I just crying like a baby, just this very like warm feeling throughout me, and that really hasn't gone away since. Like I'm not the guy that can play in front of 12,000 people on guitar. I would be like, I mean, I had never played a paid gig. When we played the show at the farm market where Jamie Johnson showed up, that was my first paid gig. Like, I'm not a guy to go out and play live shows, but I can tell you I was so like, I was just so at peace being up there. Like, it just felt like that's where I was supposed to be. And with all of this, it has been like, there's no way that Chris from 6 months ago could handle what's gone on the last 2 weeks, but I feel just so empowered from all of it. And I don't know. I'm telling you, like, again, I'm not anybody special, and I'm certainly not here to preach to anybody, but just from coming from somebody who was just in a really just f***ed up place. Like, and I use that word like with discretion, but in this case it describes like where I was. Like, that guy found a lot of peace like from this book and from
looking at things in a different way.
Yeah.
From looking at things through the eyes of Scripture.
And I think for me it was like I had been in, I'd been in church growing up, and I'd been exposed to all of that, but I'd found a lot of theatrics and a lot of politics in church and in religion when I was younger, and so it just immediately turned me off to it.
So if you can, take us to like what was like the day you picked it up. What was the feeling that you had? Like, what caused you to act? What was it like when you did it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd been reading it here and there, off and on, and I had for like off and on for a long time, like, because I was introduced to it as a kid, but it was really just like, I remember I went to the ER for everything that was going on. I mean, I thought I was seriously going to die. Like, I was having shooting pains up under my jaw, down in my wrist and my leg, like just cardiovascular 101 symptoms. Of course, I'm 31. I had been like I could run 4 miles without stopping, no problem. So like I knew my heart was strong, but
You
I
were just freaking out.
yeah, but I went and did that, and I remember being in the truck after that, just like, and I just had a breakdown moment. I was just crying and was just I just felt hopeless, like almost the way a child feels hopeless when they, like you can't find your parent or something, like a 4-year-old that can't find his parents or something. I was just like, just didn't have anything left in me. And
Okay, stop. Listen to what he's doing here. This is a guy just weeks ago was feeling just like that. Just weeks ago. That's in itself a miracle. He's a guy who has screwed up everything in his life. He said up until he was about 30, and then things went awry. I was the exact opposite. I was just crazy bad until I was about 30, and then I tried to clean up my life. And all he's doing now is he's sitting in the truck, and he's completely broken. How many of us can relate to this? You're out of answers. Now listen.
I don't know. I just decided, like, right then and there, I was like, I know I can't do this anymore. But I know that I know there's things that I need to do. And I was just told God, I was like, just let me do it. Like, and I'll give all this up. I'll give up the weed, and I'll quit getting drunk, and I'll quit being so angry about things. And I'll just I'll just call it good. Whatever I've done up from up until I was 30 or whatever, 31, like we'll just call that good, and I'll start over again, and I'll make him the focus and not me. And I just tried to let my ego and everything that I was, just let that go and just focus on, because obviously, like, it's not just me. I've seen it with even other people I know, and I see it with celebrities and everything. But I don't know. I just feel like we're in such a weird place right now in the world.
Stop for a second. What is he doing? What's he doing right here? This is the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's the first step. I give up. I can't do it. I completely give up. God, I give it all to you. We'll just call it start fresh. That is, without him knowing it, that is the first step. You cannot heal yourself until you get there. This is the problem with our nation. You can't fix it until we get there. Lord, I give up. I give up. We've tried everything. We've tried everything. Everything we do seems to make it worse. We've tried this. We've tried this. The only thing we haven't tried is humbling ourselves. See, this is why humility is so important. Because without humility, you can't get to where he is, which is completely broken. And luckily, for me as an alcoholic, and unfortunately for my mom, who was an alcoholic, my mother's bottom was death. She didn't have a place that was bad enough to break her until death. I'm grateful that wasn't my bottom line. And I've wondered for a long time, is that the bottom line for our country? Is our country, are we so arrogant that we'll let it die before we say, okay, I give up. I give up. I just want peace in my life. I want to be a decent person. We want to be a good country, but we obviously don't know how to do it. Now listen to what he's about to do. The next step. Listen to this.
I feel like God's working inadvertently through certain people to get his point across.
He is.
So take me to what you did. Did you start reading the Bible? Like, what did you do?
I just changed my perspective.
You changed.
I quit worrying about me, and I started worrying about what it is that I'm supposed to do. Like it talks in the Bible about being a servant, and giving up. I guess, my desire and my will and whatever it is that I want to do. Like, I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's about trying to use what I have as a tool versus doing what I can in the moment to give myself whatever satisfaction that it is I'm trying to get. You know, it's about trying to let go of your ego, I guess, in a way. And I mean, people pursue that mentality without faith. I mean, it's the idea of there being something bigger than you. But I think inherently all human beings idolize something. Like, it talks in the Bible about false idols. We all have false idols, like whether it's our phone or it's a celebrity or it's something we do or it's our addiction to food or drugs or whatever. But like, it's very difficult for a human to be the biggest thing on their hierarchy. There's always something above us, right? Because we're always in pursuit of something bigger than whatever it is in that moment. And I think for me, it was just about taking everything else, all the distractions and all the other things in my life away, and just ensuring that at least. And look, we all sin and we all do stupid things. Like, we're all just people. Nobody's special or righteous. People sometimes act like they're special and righteous, but we're all just the same thing. Like, but it's just about trying to make that my idol. Make God and the concept of what it is that he wants done on this earth my idol versus anything else.
Stop. He's just completed the first 2 steps. Step 1, admit you're powerless over alcohol or whatever else it is, and that your lives are unmanageable. That's the first thing you have to do. My life is completely out of control. I've tried everything. I'm broken. I'm crying in my truck. I can't do it. I'm powerless over this. I can't stop it. Second step, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. He's saying there is a God. There is a God. And I've followed other gods, and all of these other gods are false. They've only played into my problem because they feed my ego and what I want. And only thing that is above humans is God. And so I am powerless over my problem, and my life is out of control, and only a power greater than me can restore us to sanity. First 2 steps. Now, I'm going to take a 1-minute break and come back and show you he's completed the 3rd step. This is the fastest. This is why AA works, because it's so obvious. It's natural. It's natural how it works. When he gets to the 4th step, that's where trouble sets in. But I want you to listen to the 3rd. So the 3rd step, let's see if he makes it.
Like, we all serve some master, whether we realize it or not. So why not let it be the master that is above all?
And so when you made this transformation in your mind, did you then start reading scripture like regularly? Like, what did you start doing?
Yeah, well,
that was different.
Well, what really, I guess it's like now I don't read it. I don't read it because I feel like I should read it to be a better person. It's like now I try to read it for the guidance within it. And I'm still in the infancy stages of a lot of this. Like, I've read a lot of Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes, and Luke, and there's other good books, but just trying to, I don't know, like trying to restructure, I guess, on a granular level, like I guess the neural pathways in my brain that have certain habits and certain ways of thought, like I've tried to retrain that to, like there's things it says, like, and I'll be very brief with this, I promise, but like one thing, ironically, it's Proverbs 4:20, which I thought you would like. So if there's anything better.
Perfect.
But,
Stop for just a second before we get to that. He just completed the 3rd step. Okay, 1st step, we're powerless. Our lives are out of control, and I have no power to stop it. 2nd, there is a power greater than me. There is a God, a God of your understanding, a power greater than me that will restore me to sanity. 3rd step, I will turn my will and my life over the care of God as I understand him. The first thing he said when we went back to this clip is, we all serve a master. I just decided to serve the master, the God. And now I'm reading scriptures so I get to learn his will, what he wants me to do. Third step, made a decision to turn over our lives and our will over to the care of God as we understand him. I'm telling you, God is working miracles. This is why I've said, you want to save the country? It's anyone who understands the 12 steps of AA. It will get you there. We need to do this as a nation. But the fourth step is the really tough one. Do we have time to go on to the, here's, I think he said it was Psalms 420. Listen, Proverbs 420.
My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free from perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. But
that's pretty profound.
Yeah, it is profound. Joe Rogan. Wow, that's profound. So listen to what he just said. This, I think, that this is the proverb that he would bring up. Tells you everything you need to know about him and politics. He has done everything he could to distance himself from the right and the left, mainly from the right, because those were the ones running to him with open arms going, "You're one of us." He's, I believe, being used by God. And you're not going to make any inroads if you're Glenn Beck and your name is so associated with the right, or, you know, you're Michael Moore and you're so associated with the left, whatever. It's not going to happen. He's fixing his eyes on God, not turning to the right or the left. And he will fulfill whatever it is he's supposed to fulfill. And he'll be shocked by it, as he already is shocked by it. God works quickly when we are willing.